Fiends, it's cracking. It's been a minute since I've actually gotten anything out. Summer hits, spring hits, it gets warm out. I work with farmers. It's a nut job, fucking time of year. Like, shit to do. But, it's a little rainy today, so I'm taking the afternoon. I'm doing my thing. So here we go. Uh, what is it? Lucas and from over at Undead 13 and Rick Retreat both they did a video on their top 5 horror punk songs, horror rock songs, whatever. You fuckers are insane. 5? 5. You are limiting me to 5 fucking songs. Damn. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. But okay. I am going to give a couple of honorable mentions, though. Which, hey, fuck it, let's get started. Honorable mentions. Nuke and the Hellriders. Cocaine Nightmare. Off of the first Nuke and the Hellriders record, which I'm not sure if you guys are big Nuke fans. I obviously am. I'm a huge Nuke fan. Great song. I not necessarily would call it a horror punk song. It kind of is. I mean, Nuke is Nuke. Nuke does what Nuke does. And it just comes out all spooky and croony and... Oh, God, I love it. But, that's kind of an honorable mention. That song just pops into my head randomly all the time. And, I kind of have to give the Spooks song Reanimated a throw in here. I love that song. It's so fucking catchy. Really, really good. So those are kind of my honorable mentions at the moment. Like Lucas said, my lists change by my mood. And really by what bands I'm listening to heavily. But anyway, let's get into this top 5 business. I'm looking at my computer because I got them all brought up here. So, I'm not really even going to give these a number-ish, but 5 of my favorites. And I kind of went with as all-time as I could get, really. A couple of these are definitely just right now, situational, if you will. But, okay, number 5, The Misfits, Teenagers from Mars. I love the... Static Age is my favorite Misfits record. I absolutely fell in love with the Misfits over, not necessarily that record. I don't remember I think the first thing I heard was Walk Among Us, because that floated around the punk circles all the time. I mean, it's one of their seminal records for a damned reason. But when I started buying this stuff like a crack addict, I bought Evil Live first, and then I went back like a week later and got American Psycho and Static Age. So oddly, I didn't get Walk Among Us until way... I might have even had Earth AD before I got Walk Among Us. I'm not quite sure. But I listened to Static Age once I got that, like, almost nightly for years and years and years. And Teenagers from Mars is one of my absolute favorite songs off that record, and just as a whole. I love that song. Let's go with number 4. And this one's way newer, and it's probably going to catch a few people off guard. But the Antibodies, 1031. Criminy, man. That fucking record is so good. It's the Antibodies full length, which it's oddly sitting right in front of me. This fucking record is really good. It's about anything you'd want out of a modern horror punk record. Female fronted, which we didn't get a whole lot of that back in the day. I mean, there are bands out there that are female fronted and they're really fucking good. And really, death rock kind of kicked off with female fronted vocals. I mean, 45 Grave, anybody? But this Antibodies, especially this song, it feels like all the good points of 90s punk, but a lot meaner and super catchy. Love that. And this is the opener song on the record, and it's really damn good. I just kind of threw my fist in the air as soon as I fucking heard it. I was like, yes! Next, and I have said this before, and I'm not sure if this is going to go up before my Mazinga video, but Mazinga's song Namorita has been in my favorite horror punk songs since I was like 20. And it's just super catchy, super fun, dirty and garagey enough to not be polished, but catchy enough that you can feel like the really old school pop rock and pop punk kind of vibes coming in. But I mean, that just means it's really catchy and well written. Namorita is a super good fucking song. Number 2, Mr. Underhill / Nim Vind. So, for anyone who isn't aware, a good chunk of Mr. Underhill's Phantasm Drive-In album got just re-recorded and put onto Nim Vind's Fashion of Fear record. You can practically call them the same era, but not quite. Good songs. Midnight Croon off of that record is so good. It runs a really fine line for me with Astronomicon, because I fell in love with that song, but right now I'm really feeling Midnight Croon. Super awesome. And Nim Vind goes in and out of my top 5. It's definitely, he doesn't leave the top 10. That's why I'm saying you guys are fucking nuts for five songs. Nuts. Yeah. Midnight Croon, though. Super, super good. And my number 1, this one is purely nostalgic because I find it extremely hard to pick a Blitzkid song that is my favorite. But Starlight Decay has some real history in my life, and I can't think of that song without, just singing it. I can't. And it was a toss-up between that and Pretty in a Casket, because Pretty in a Casket, to this day, is still one of my vocal warm-up songs. I love that tune. It was, I think, either that or Pumpkin Patch Murders were the first Blitzkid songs that I ever heard. In like 2000, maybe 2001, something like that. Yeah, but Blitzkid, Starlight Decay. I remember being at a show at the Poison Room, which is now something else in Cincinnati. I remember I was at the Poison Room at a show, and my girlfriend at the time just flipped around in the middle of that song. We were in the very front up by the stage, and that bar, the stage, you cannot miss pictures of it because it has a giant fucking pole that runs straight through the middle of the front of the stage, and all kinds of weird tubing and crap that runs above the stage. So I think I have pictures somewhere of Goolsby hanging upside down off of that shit. But they were in the middle of Starlight Decay, and she flipped around and just started singing it to me. It was fucking very memorable moment. That was a long time ago too. That was probably 2007, something like that, like 11 years ago. Doesn't feel that long ago. But yeah, that is my current top 5 list. Of course, it'll probably change tomorrow. And I'm going to follow this up with, in the next video with my... Why are you guys doing top 5s? Can we at least do top 10s? But I'm going to follow it up with my top 5 horror rock albums of all time. So, yeah. There you go. Catch you later.